Well, it has been a busy 10 days in American airspace and around the world, really. Let's go through what we've seen in the U.S. over the last 10 days. The first sighting was on February 4th. That was that Chinese balloon. It started in Alaska, floated into Canada, then back into the United States before it was shot down off the coast of South Carolina. That is the only object being described as a balloon by the U.S. government. Over the course of February 10th, 11th, and 12th, we saw 3 other objects shot down. The first one on February 10th, different size, different shape, not resembling that Chinese balloon. Still, it was shot down. The one on February 11th, flying some 40,000 feet in the air. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau ordered it shot down, saying that it posed a reasonable threat. That one was much smaller and a cylindrical shape. And then that fourth object was flying at 20,000 feet near Michigan. This is one of the ones that President Biden ordered shot down. Now, we don't know a whole lot more about those last 3 objects. The Pentagon and the White House being very careful not to describe those 3 as balloons. But spokesman John Kirby got a lot of questions on this today, asking about what we know. Now, the debris from that first Chinese balloon, a lot of that has been recovered 45 feet of water. Some of the objects, though, shot down over the course of the weekend, they have not been identified yet. That is because they are in very remote areas, very cold temperatures. But the Pentagon has said that they want to make sure to recover those objects as soon as possible. John Kirby was asked why the ones over the past weekend were shot down so much faster than that first Chinese spy balloon. Listen to what he had to say.
Because we assessed that they weren't manned and weren't being controlled, therefore left to atmospheric conditions, the real risk to safety of flight was a problem. The second purpose, and I talked about this earlier too, was even though we had no indications that any of these 3 objects were surveilling, we couldn't rule that out.
And China has come back at the United States, saying the U.S. flew more than 10 high-altitude balloons into Chinese airspace without permission, but they have not said what the balloons look like, whether they were shot down. They've made no real comments on this. The U.S. flatly denying this. Kirby reiterating it in the press conference today, saying that that is not something that the United States has done. Now, as far as that first balloon goes, the officials say that the United States and Canada are not the only ones that have seen these kinds of balloons cross their airspace being used to detect and collect intelligence. They say it's part of a surveillance program targeting more than 40 countries. China says the U.S. is just overreacting and the balloon was just used for meteorological purposes. One thing they are saying in this press conference is that those 3 objects were not UFOs. In New York, Alex Miller, Scripps News.